Greetings and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I want to share this interview with you. This interview was done some years ago but has since resurfaced on the internet. The reason why I want to share this interview with you is this man right here, who is portraying himself to be the devil, in this interview talks about some very important things that are necessary for us to understand and know. What I get from this interview is that many persons do have the understanding and the knowledge of who the devil is and his agenda, because many of the things that he says in this video are actually true. So I'm going to play the video and I want you to listen good as he speaks and keep scriptures in your mind, because what he's saying is actually true. All right, let's play it.
Whoa, Lucifer in the flesh. Do you know how many journalists would kill? Wait, you probably do. First, I want to say thank you to agreeing to this interview, because I know you are a very, very busy person.
Yes. I usually like to fly under the radar, but I figured since I'm already on the campaign trail, why not?
Okay. First, let's talk about your reign. Now, you've had a fairly long one. What would you attribute to your success and popularity?
Oh, that's easy. Every generation is the same. I appeal to their lust and ego. I offer all the sex, wealth, and fame a person could want. Do as thou wilt has been my campaign slogan from the start.
He's right about that, because the will of the flesh and the will of the devil always agree. So whatever we do in the flesh always end up pleasing the devil, because our will and the devil will is one. So he's right about that when he says, do as you will, because whenever we do what we want, we're actually obeying the devil, because as I said before, the will of the flesh and the will of the devil agrees.
And my campaign platform hasn't changed either. I run on the same three issues every generation: lust of the flesh, lust of the eyes, and pride of life.
This is so true, because the scripture says in 1 John 2 and verse 16, for all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh, and the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life, is not of the Father, but is of the world. And we know that the devil is the god of this world. Jesus himself was tempted in all three categories, yet without sin. We know this because the scripture says in Hebrews chapter 4 and verse 15, for we have not an high priest which cannot be touched with the feelings of our infirmities, but was in all points tempted like as we are, yet without sin. What this is saying is that Jesus was tempted in all 3 points, which is the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life, yet he was without sin. So we are all tempted today, likewise in all 3 categories every day of our life: the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life. That is what we are tempted with every single day.
Okay. When you say lust of the flesh, what exactly do you mean?
Come on now. What do I mean? Isn't it obvious? I just use humans' own innate physical desires against them. And since sexual desire seems to be the most powerful, I usually run with that. Now, I didn't create sex, but I must say I've done a superb job at perverting it. Take pornography, for example. Well, you should know a lot about this one, Ivan. Weren't you addicted to porn?
This interview is about you, not about me. Can we get back on subject?
Now, where was I? Oh, yeah. What I do is gradually get someone addicted to porn. And once lust has had its full work and he and she can no longer restrain themselves, they usually look to act out their fantasies on someone. And sometimes that someone is a child.
He's saying some really interesting things right here. And what he's saying is true. We cannot deny the fact that what this man is saying right here is true. That goes to show us that knowledge is there. The knowledge of Satan is there. People do have the knowledge of the devil and how the devil works and his plans and his agenda, because like what he just stated right there is actually true. That is how it happens. That is how it goes, right?
Now, my plan plays out perfectly. That abused child will eventually turn to a life of promiscuity and perversion themselves, allowing me to continue my vicious cycle. And here's the kicker. Many of those abused girls end up right in the porn industry. Now, how's that for irony?
The second thing you had mentioned, I believe, you said lust of the flesh, lust of the eyes. Can you elaborate?
Humans are never satisfied. You always crave more. Bigger house, bigger car, more money, more power. The list goes on and on. I just take their natural ambitious desire, pervert it, and use it against them for their own destruction. My plan is to allow them to never be content. As long as I can keep them craving what others have, I can depend on them to argue, fight, even kill to get it. Humans are so easily tricked into jealousy. And you know what they say. Jealousy is as cruel as the grave.
This man has so much knowledge of the devil, you would actually think it's the devil himself talking. Like what he is saying is like it's so real. I keep saying it. This is so real. Like that is what the devil does. I mean, like if you look at what is happening right now on the internet, and social media, these celebrities, if you really look what's happening right now, or what has been happening, this is true. You know, one is never satisfied. One always wants more, and no one wants to be the least. You know, whenever they see someone with something, they want it too. They want to be in that category. They want to be the one who is above and have this and have that, the fancy house, the fancy cars, and they're always trying to compete with each other. And that's how the world is, competing against each other to see who have the best of what, to see who is more popular, to see who is more famous. And what the devil does is feed on that as well. So that's why I said before, our will, the will of the flesh, agrees with the will of the devil. So whatever we desire in this flesh, we're actually agreeing with what the devil wants, right? So whatever the devil wants for us, whatever his agenda is, that is in line with our flesh. And our flesh, whatever the will is of our flesh, it is in line with the will of the devil. So what this man is saying right here, I'm telling you, he has a lot of knowledge of the devil. He has a lot of knowledge, because that's how the devil gives us what we want. The devil plays on our emotions. He plays on the will of the flesh. So one is always competing, one always want more, and always seeking attention, and want to have the fancy this and the fancy that, and want to be popular, and want to be more famous, and want to be more rich, right? And that is the lust of the eyes.
Yes, I have heard that before. The last thing you had mentioned was, I believe, pride of life. Now, how does this fit into your campaign platform?
Humans are always on a quest for knowledge. I tricked the first humans to seek carnal knowledge over godly wisdom.
I always say it wasn't a literal fruit that Adam and Eve ate. I said it before. It was words, seed planted. And this man have that knowledge. This man have that understanding, because he said he uses knowledge. He tricked the first humans to seek carnal knowledge of the godly wisdom. Notice he didn't say he gave them a fruit to eat, or some people say an apple or a grape or whatever it was. It was words that was planted, and that word that was planted in them sprang up and bring fruit of disobedience. So what he's saying is true. Again, what he's saying right here is true. He has the knowledge. He has that knowledge, and that's good.
And it's worked like a charm every generation since. With more knowledge comes more pride. And you know pride is my specialty. And since humans don't like to keep God in their wisdom, I'm able to seduce them with all types of things to help puff up their ego. Lately, fame has been my biggest seller. Who doesn't like attention and feeling more important than the next person? Once I make them famous, I can really use them to promote my agenda. With their help, I've convinced half of the world to not only accept sin, but to celebrate it. Do you know what has been my most enjoyable pride campaign to date?
No, what?
Well, my gay pride campaign, of course. Not only do I get the chance to promote your own self-destruction, I get to use God's logo, the rainbow, to do it.
Yep, that's what they do. That's what they do. They take the rainbow. They take the rainbow. Talking about rainbow flag here and there, gay pride, whatever. Yep, that's what they do. Talking about they were born gay and they were born this way and not. No one is born gay. Let me tell you this. God didn't make anyone gay. You become gay. Homosexuality is a spirit. Being gay, that's a spirit, man. That's a
Love is love, right? My plan not only prevents you worthless humans from reproducing, it distorts the gender roles and allows me to bring all types of chaos and confusion upon your pathetic societies. This has been so successful, I've got men convinced they're women, and women convinced they're men, and some convinced they're no gender at all. And I've got 2 more Pride Initiative campaigns I'd like to introduce in the near future.
Really? I'm guessing you probably want me to ask you what they are, right?
Well, first, it's abortion pride. Now, I think we can pull this off. Society is definitely ready for it. I've enlisted to help a Planned Parenthood to work with marketing and promotions. And all we'll have to do is silence the so-called abolitionists and pro-lifers, because the rest of the church doesn't seem to care. And second is pedophilia pride. Now, society might not be ready for this one just yet, so we'll hold off. I need to desensitize them a little more before we introduce it.
All right, I'll just stop right there. I don't think I'm gonna go any further with this. But if you want to watch a full video, I'll put a link in the description. You can go and check it out. But I'll just stop right there. What he's saying about this whole abortion thing, I mean, it's taking over. It's taking over and it's obvious. I mean, for all who might be slow on this, that's not the devil right there. I know you would have some people out there who actually believe that's the devil. That's not the devil. I mean, I know I've said it in the intro, but that's not the devil. That's just a man who so happened to have a very good makeup artist. All right. So he said a lot of good things in this video. I mean, as I said before, if you want to check out the entire video, you can check the description for the link. You can watch it. I just wanted to show that people out there do have the knowledge of who the devil is and his agenda. They do, and sadly I have many persons who do have the knowledge and just don't care. They still live the way they want without making any changes. Like, they have already made it up in their minds that, you know, they're gonna go to hell. I mean, you do have persons that, I mean, like, they literally just say that, you know, I'm going to hell and I don't care. You know, like, not everyone can go to heaven. Like, that's what they would say. I mean, so I thank you for watching this video, and I do pray that we all continue in striving to please God. Please remember to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you can be notified when new videos are uploaded. Thanks for watching.